The following program is rated GE. It is suitable for general family viewing.
Hello there, today we are at the Albinism Society of Kenya, and today we get to understand the whole scope so as to get a better prognosis of the impact of albinism in the society, if there has been enough awareness that has been created in the society as well. Alongside it, we've got a beautiful lady here who will get to tell us her journey and her story as she is a person living with albinism. Welcome to Beyond the Limit. I am Mudhani Maina.
My name is Betty Chepkirui Milgo. I'm a teacher by profession, and I come from Narok County, Emurua Dikri constituency, and I have come from far as Betty, and currently I'm working with Albinism Society of Kenya as an administration officer. Yes. So I've said earlier, my profession is teaching, but I've not gone to teach. I am just doing administration work. Not because I missed anywhere to teach, but I love what I'm doing now. At Albinism Society of Kenya, we are advocating for persons with albinism. So most of my work is paperwork as an administrator, and also I love serving people with albinism like me all over the country and even outside the country. And we've been advocating for them in terms of their livelihood, their health issues, and also their education issues. Most of them come from a very humble background because every day we get their cases, and most of the persons with albinism come from a single parenthood family. The reason why it is so is because when a father sees a child has been born in his family, a child with albinism, they tend to shy away and say that gene is not his, or maybe this is a curse, or maybe that child is not his and he cannot tolerate, and the father will run away, the mother remains with the child. And that's why most of the, as I've said, most of the children with albinism are single parenthood. They come from a single parenthood. The government has recognized person with albinism. Currently, we are receiving sunscreen lotion for the sunburn, and we are also receiving capes, the brim cape, to prevent the skin from burning. And also we are getting short sleeve, long sleeve t-shirts that is helping to prevent too much exposure of the sun from the environment. So that I can say yes. Another thing I can say yes is that most of the person with albinism have already received education, and they are doing well in their job place, in their families. Some of them are married like me. Others are doing well in their occupation, and they have taken their life so positive. On the other hand, we have person with albinism. In one way or another, they've come from a very humble background. Their skin or their health is not doing well, and therefore the society look at them as not successful people, and they have not been recognized. People will run away from them just because of their issues, their problems, and we need to do more awareness on the society to tell them these are people who are unfortunate in the society, and we need to bring them close and include them in each and everything we undergo, even in education, even in job and employment, even in training, in TVET education. Because when they are given chance, they can do well. The only problem is the opportunity. Yes. For me, it has not been that bad, but I can say the experience of other people. I can say to me, when I was in school, especially I started relationship when I was in campus. I was an outgoing lady, and I used to talk to people I could not fear. Even if someone will run away from me, I just say, look, I'm just a person like you, only the color that has made me different from you. And also my exposure to the world helped me. When I was a student at Mount Kenya University, I served as a vice president. I was a student leader. So with that kind of interaction with students and all that, people saw my capability. And you see, these men, they will want to get somebody who is going to help them. They want to know the key notes that they cannot to take from you or to love you. So out of that, I got into relationship that led to marriage. Yeah, and also the success I have been, the stories I have had, how I have been working in job place, and even when I was a student, that is what motivates someone, my husband now, to get engaged. Let's start back in campus. The first thing I did was to bring awareness to students, because even that time I was campaigning, the student could say, no, you see, Betty is going to be given nomination, or Betty will be given just a sympathy vote. But I told them, look, I'm just a person like you, and I just need just as justified votes like my colleague whom we were together, whom we were competing together. And I told them, if we are to say we are giving sympathy votes, what are we creating in the society? We need equal chances without sympathy. We need to be given all those opportunities so that to show that we can do it. And if we don't do it, is when now you can judge.
Leadership is not for everyone. It is a calling whereby you feel you have the potential, capabilities, and you can serve. It's about serving people. So when Betty vies for leadership, other students should not look at her like she's an albino. She's a human being, and she has all what it takes. She has a body, mind, and soul, just like them. And they need to respect her and support her instead. So I want to commend her even for that boldness of feeling like I'm different, but I have what it takes to be a leader.
Then after that, people were actually aware, and when I got there, I actually worked well, and I didn't have any issue. And people appreciated, even up to now, people appreciated my contribution in the society. There was a point I used to ask myself, why me, why like this, why I was fun like, I regretted to some point when I was young, when I was in high school, because you could see students playing, but you are not part of it, they don't accept you. I used to play netball and volleyball, but those in the group could not accept me to play, so I used now to regret why I was born with albinism. And you see now the society, okay, these students are not accepting me to join.
I think probably those days the teachers were not aware. They were protecting her skin. As we know that people with albinism, when they get exposure to sunshine, some levels of sun rays can affect their health. So probably out of the fear and concern, they let her stay indoors. On the other hand, I feel like they denied her an opportunity just to be herself. They would have let her to go out, mingle with other students, feel like them, play, because if you stay indoors for so long, it can actually dampen your spirits. You need to be out there doing activities, sports, and I feel like teachers need to help students with the disability identify what they love, and then enhance, encourage, and probably even teach them about indoor games and how they can engage themselves with friendly things or sports for persons with a disability. And this would really enhance their mood, and they will feel appreciated, etc., etc. So probably we can't blame the teachers 100%, but they need to be aware of the needs. How the normal child feels is the same way they feel, only that the skin is different.
But it reached a point when I got a counselor who assisted me to just accept myself the way I am. Yeah, that's the only thing I can say. It was somehow a challenge. But when I accepted myself is when I said, now I need to move on like any other person, like you, Modoni, the way you are. So sometimes even I forget I have albinism. Sometimes I walk even in the sun and my husband reminds me, look, you are getting burned, please, you need to be on the shade. It took a whole year because by then I was in Form 2. So Form 3, I was not really myself. Then Form 4 is when I realized, look, I'm finishing Form 4 and I need to get a good grade. I need to go to university. It's when now I really got into myself and got busy, got more friends, interact, learn from them, they learn from me. That's how I got out of that situation.
Therapy works. Depression is a condition that can be assisted by psychologists. However, if it's clinical, depending on probably the severity of the depression, where now the psychotherapist will engage a psychiatrist. It's a game where you work together to get a leverage. However, according to Betty, she went and she got helped. I look at her because later, now she's a leader. She's working. And probably it is because of the counseling she went through. What would have happened if she never sought counseling? Maybe it would have gotten worse. She would not even have known herself. She would have continued with the low levels of self-esteem and lack of confidence. But meeting and talking to a counselor helps the counselor to bring out the abilities that this girl have, and every other person out there. Counseling is good for depressed persons, and the psychologist will tell you whether you need a psychiatrist or a clinical psychologist for you now to go through a kind of a wholesome discovery of yourself, to appreciate the meaning of life and to know that life has a purpose for everyone, even for persons with disabilities. So counseling works.
Now in my family, we have not, my father used not to take us out. In fact, I went to school, to kindergarten, when I was 12 years old. The reason being, people in the rural area did not accept us the way we were, with my brother who is with albinism also. So my father was fearing these children can be killed, because those time people they didn't know anything about albinism. Just in the rural areas, people are primitive, they don't know what is happening. So my father was afraid to the extent that he said, until we are able to identify who is this, until we are able to talk is when we go to school. And he took us to school after the age of 12, and he could take us to school in the morning and bring us in the evening. So there was no kind of family getting out or playing what. In fact, I didn't learn how to wash, how to cook until when I was in the university, because my father was like, you can get burned. When you wash, your skin can be damaged. So most of the things, learning from the family, we did not get there.
We know that persons with albinism and disability are looked at as fragile, especially if they come from families where siblings and parents are able to help and to support them. They can overdo it. I think for Betty, they overdid it. They are overprotecting her. And overprotection is not always very good for children who are growing up. Children need to go out there, and they are supposed to be integrated in the day-to-day roles. They are supposed to be hurt and to know how to cope with the hurt and how to take care of themselves. If they are so much like nurtured and protected from the outside world, it will affect them psychologically and emotionally. So I feel that the overcaring and this so much love sometimes can be damaging. I would advise parents out there, let your child be. If they are born with a disability, let them do the roles. Fix them in. Let them also take part of whatever the family is doing. They will love it, they will grow, and they will have more self-awareness. And I believe there is something everybody can do, whether you are an albino or whatever disability you have. Let's not overprotect our children. Bring them out, bring them on board, and engage them if their levels of disability is not so severe.
And it's only out of that family is when I started knowing so many things. In fact, I thank my husband. He was the only person who taught me how to cook meat. I didn't know how to cook. So he knew me, and he was like, Betty, don't worry. Those things you are talking about, I'm there for you. And I learned so many things from him. That is something I can say with the family. I have grown so much better than even when I was in our home. Even right now, we can go out, we can play, we can do anything with the people there, and he's very happy, and I'm very happy. I have no problem with that.
I'm grateful that the husband to Betty has been very supportive. You realize that persons with albinism are having a challenge on being considered as bad luck to the society. I think it has also been in records that people are using persons with albinism, and they identify, they will say that their body parts can be used as magic potions by the witch doctors. So when we see that immediate relatives being supportive to persons with albinism, it's really a plus. And there is a lot of life adjustment for persons with albinism. So this can only come from the immediate relatives. And the fact that you have embraced these people and you have allowed them to see themselves normal, we can now enhance their abilities, we can enhance their talents and the gifts that are in them. So the husband to Betty has really done good, and this is what I would I would recommend even for other people that are living with persons with albinism to be very supportive, because it will only be from them that these people will feel loved, they will feel accepted, and they feel their self-esteem established, and they're able now to pursue what is in them and the gifts that they have in themselves.
Students were running away. So I was like, what is this? And the first day my father took us to school with my brother, the student came running and shouting, Mzongo, Mzongo, Mzongo. And when we got into the class we were identified to get in, the entire school came to that classroom. They wanted to know what kind of these people are. Are they Wasungu? Are they what? Then they could start chatting. Look at their eyes. They are moving so quickly. Look at their skin. I think even when you touch like this, the blood will just bruising out. So the students were very arrogant. They didn't have the language. It was very discouraging to be in school. Now the only thing that helped was the teachers to calm down the students, because even sitting next to one of the students was a problem. So, and also with the vision, being there next to the blackboard, I used to sit alone in front. The rest of the students are at the back, because students were afraid of sitting next to me. So with that situation, it took some time for the student to accept to be with me, until when now the training was brought in school about people with albinism, how you can interact with them. Yeah, is when now the student accepted. Okay, right now it's not like our days back in 1990s, and the society have changed. Even from that experience, it did not take long. Is when I was taken to a boarding school where there were other people with albinism like me. Is when now I felt I was at home, because I saw people like me there. And right now, it's not too much that people with albinism are being run away because of the condition. People have learned, even in the TV, even in the newspaper, and we have our role models. Even the students have been seeing, we have our role model who are working there in the government now, and they have been told this is a person with albinism who are like these people, and they grow and they make successful families. So I think that kind of a role model is what has created inclusive society.
Well, albinism is associated with a lot of misconceptions. There is a lot of stigma and stereotypes to do with albinism. And I think what is lacking is the background as to why, or as to what causes albinism. First, I think I need to tell the society albinism is it's a genetical disorder that causes low skin pigmentation and low melanin levels around the eyes and even the skin. And persons with disability are facing a lot of bullying from other people, because sometimes you find they're associated with maybe as a result of children who are born from the whites. And so there is that discrimination and that feeling of this child has to do with a background from the whites. But once people understand the cause of albinism, I think there will be more of embracing them, because there are many people who don't have the scientific facts that are behind albinism. And people with albinism, they not only have the issue of light-skinned issue, but we also have the issue of visual impairment. You have the involuntary movement of the eyeballs that is not with other abled persons. We also have some who have the challenge of the skin being very sensitive. In fact, actually, it's recorded that persons with albinism are really prone to skin cancer as compared to other normal skinned persons. So I think what we need is a society to embrace persons with albinism and even be accommodative, because other than the skin issues, we have them being normal like any other person. So that is what I would recommend the society, that there is more to do is also with awareness. There is more to do with people being educated on what is the cause of albinism, and also to show them that they are as normal human beings as any other, if well accommodated. Yes.
My advice to persons with albinism like me, I would like to encourage you to grow in a healthy way, in a positive way, and also have self-esteem, because to stay in a negative attitude all the time will deteriorate your growth. Because today someone abuses you, tomorrow someone abuses you, and you take it negatively, you will have a problem. So just accept the way you are. Say yes, you have albinism. So what next? The next thing is to accept yourself and take care of yourself. Wear long sleeve t-shirt, wear the capes, put on, if you are supposed to use glasses like me, just use it, and make sure you are clean all the time. Otherwise, it is not a very big challenge. It is manageable. Albinism is manageable, and we can all manage. So take good care of yourself, get education, learn from people, get to any activity and be like any other person. Don't isolate yourself and take care.